The sun has set, the air is cold. Something moves beyond the clearing. A faint whisper, a heavy footstep. Something's getting close. But have no fear, you should be safe. The campfire is going strong. Gather around, but be warned. They come before dawn.
Good evening, dear listeners, and welcome to They Come Before Dawn. I am your host, Lawrence.
And I am your co-host, Ray.
And this night's episode, we'll be talking about shadow people. So, Ray, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Lawrence?
I'm great. I'm fantastic.
All right. So, I guess we should start with a little thank you for everyone who listened to.
I think a thank you would be in place.
For everyone who listened to episode 0 and episode 1. We got quite a lot of good reactions, more than we expected at least.
Way more than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought that perhaps 5 of my friends and 5 of your friends would listen, and that would be it. But
those would be the same people.
Yeah, those would be the same people, that's correct. But I mean, a lot more listened to the podcast, which is... I never wanted to put a number on it. I never wanted to say, oh, I want 100 people to listen to an episode every week, every Monday. No, that's not what I wanted to do.
Start small.
Yeah, start small, obviously, and not really put a goal on it. Yes. But even then, I was surprised by the amount of people that listened.
Same. So thank you for that. And hopefully you will enjoy this episode as well. So, like we said, we will be talking about shadow people.
Yeah, that's correct. I did a lot of my research on my brand new e-reader because I bought an e-reader for it, and it's such a wonderful thing.
It is.
I always read books, physical books, and I thought, well, e-readers are not enough. E-readers are nothing for me. Those are just it's too much technology. I like the feeling of paper and books in my hand.
That's what most people think at first. Until they get an e-reader.
Until they get an e-reader, probably, because this thing is amazing.
Yes, I got mine 2 years ago, and it's the best. It's the best, yeah. I've
already read a book that I wanted to, well, not really talk to you about, but I wanted to explain it to you.
Okay.
Do you know Max Brooks?
Max Brooks?
Max Brooks. He's the writer of World War Z.
No.
No, World War Z.
Well, it's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie with Brad Pitt, but the movie is nothing like the book.
Oh.
The book is,
like most of the time.
In my opinion, is one of, I think it's in my top 5 of books ever.
Oh, really?
One of my favorite books. It's such a unique book because it talks about the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
A zombie apocalypse. Am I saying it correctly? Is that zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, sometimes it sounds so weird. And it's the writer itself is an unnamed character, and he's talking to different people. He's interviewing different people.
Oh.
So it starts at the beginning of the infection stage of how, I mean, it's kind of like how we are at this time with the whole pandemic, but starts small, grows
zombies.
larger, and what with zombies, and we heard reports that the dead don't stay dead, and it's very mysterious in the beginning. Then it's commonplace zombies, and everyone's scared of them, and it's just a very interesting book. I really like it, and I would suggest to everyone to read it.
Okay.
But that's not the book that I wanted to tell you.
Oh, okay.
The book I read is called. Hold on, it's called Minecraft the Island. So, it's a Minecraft book.
Okay.
Which is not really that special because there are a lot of unofficial Minecraft books.
Yes.
This book, written by prestigious writer Max Brooks, is an official Minecraft book. So it's by the same writer that wrote Zombie Survival Guide, one of his books as well, but also World War Z. The book is in the perspective of a Minecraft player who doesn't know what Minecraft is.
who doesn't know what Minecraft is.
So if you would read one of the unofficial books,
Mhm.
it talks about, oh well, we know what the crafting is and we know what everything in this world is.
And then,
The book starts with it's also an unnamed protagonist
Mhm.
waking up in the middle of the ocean, and one of the first thing he says is, "What the fuck? Why is the sun a square?
oh,
What the hell's happening?"
So he's actually in the game.
He's in the game
Okay.
and he doesn't know what the fuck Minecraft is.
Oh my god.
So eventually he gets to the name, the island, and he goes, "What's wrong with this world? Why is everything squared? Where is
Oh my
everything in a block?"
God.
He raises his hands up, but you know your hands aren't fingers, and that's not
No,
something
no.
in Minecraft. He says, "What are these fleshy
Oh,
lumps
no.
on my arms?"
Oh
So
my god.
that's
Okay.
what I love about the guy. He makes such a unique
That
book.
actually sounds like a book I want to read.
Read it in 2 days. So good.
Oh, nice.
You really should read it.
Okay, send that to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's really, you should really read it.
Nice.
So anyway, I've used my e-reader a lot in
Yeah.
the research.
And you don't even have it for that long.
No, I think I've had it for about a week.
Yeah,
now.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The book that I used in question was a book by Jason Offutt called Darkness Walks, The Shadow People Among Us. Among Us.
More games.
Yeah. Kind of sus. So Ray, what are shadow people?
So, to give a general description, shadow people are a paranormal phenomenon where a patch of shadow takes a human-like form, which can be seen as either good or evil, and in some stories they even have red or yellow eyes.
So if our listeners would think back to episode 0, I talked that I sometimes see shadow people.
Yeah.
I said that
Yeah.
but it's mostly at night when I'm working,
Yeah.
delivering newspapers. I sometimes see a shadow in the end of a long road, something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it's that phenomenon.
Yes. So, a lot of the times, shadow people, they just appear but don't really do us any harm. And apparently they feed off electricity and energy of human beings, even if they're not evil. And supposedly, what I read is that there are 3 main types of shadow people. So you have like the shadow man, who has no face. This one is supposedly harmless, like it won't bother you or anything. It also won't touch you. Then there are shadow people with yellow or green eyes, apparently. These are mostly harmless as well, but they do watch us. Like the first type is not bothered with us; they're just there. They don't give a crap about humans. They're just there. And the second type is more like we're watching you, which is a little bit more creepy, but they're apparently still good.
They're a bit of perverts. They like to watch you at your home and
if you
Look
put
at
it
you.
like that, yeah. I
for
guess.
yours.
Yeah, apparently. So, and then the third type is more of a disfigured type of shadow person. So it's not very human-like. It can appear more. I'm thinking about from Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No face.
An unpopular opinion. I've never seen Spirited Away.
Holy shit.
It's a
Oh my
Miyazaki
God.
film, right?
Yes.
Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli is. I love Studio Ghibli. I think I've seen almost every movie with a few exceptions, and I've seen most of them more than once. Spirited Away is definitely.
I have
one of my
seen
favorite.
quite a bit of anime. I love anime.
Oh.
I have never seen a Studio Ghibli film.
Oh my god.
Not a single one.
Never? Howl's
Never.
Moving Castle?
Nope.
Kiki's Delivery Service?
Howl's Moving Castle. I wanna play one of the main song. I think it's Roundabout of Life or something.
Oh,
the song
I
thing.
don't know the names of songs. Yeah, I know which
I
one.
want to play that song on my violin because it's
Oh.
such a beautiful song. But I've never
Nice.
seen the movie. I don't know what it's about.
Oh my god, you should watch it though.
I
I'm
know
not gonna explain about what it is
I
right
know
now,
quite a
but-
few titles,
Yeah, you
but I
should.
don't know.
One of my favorites.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually one of my least favorites, even though it's quite a popular one. But one of my favorites is Totoro.
Yeah, but I don't know.
My Neighbor Totoro.
Ah, My Neighbor Totoro. I know.
Yes.
Remember that because there's yeah, with the big guy.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. but I know that they're really good films. We're not talking about Studio Ghibli today,
No.
are we? Tonight?
We're going off topic here.
Yeah.
So this third type is like a disfigured type. So
Yeah.
for those who do know Spirited Away, the moment No Face becomes more greedy, he turns into a more monster-like, like a bigger type of shadow. Those who saw the movie will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we're thinking that kind of shadow person. So these are more demon-like, with also yellow or red eyes, and these are considered the evil type. They feed off our fear.
Yeah, that's what I also found. That the
Yeah.
ones with the darker aura about them and
Yeah.
the darker presence are mostly those with the red eyes.
And a little tip that I found, if you might encounter one of these, if you do, I mean, I don't know, but if you would, apparently because they feed off fear, if you try to act as calm as possible and try to hide your fear as much as possible, and surround yourself with like love and light, it will go away.
That's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done.
You mean not in the moment itself? You mean
in general?
you in general
yeah,
try
but
to surround yourself
in the moment
with,
itself as well. Like if you would encounter one,
yeah.
like try to think, like close your eyes, try to think of love and light and happy
memories
thoughts, and it apparently goes away. I don't know, didn't test it out, never encountered one before, but if you did, try it out, you never know.
Could be that one of our listeners has ever encountered one.
Maybe.
Would be interesting to
If you do, let us know.
Yeah,
You can
to hear from
contact
them.
us on our email address.
Any of our social medias. We're also on our email address, TheyComeBeforeDawnPod @gmail.com.
I think it's such a long email address though.
Yeah, it's a very long email address.
But it's okay. So this is like a theory that I read, like about these three types. I don't know if this is like an official thing, but it's something I read a lot about. Or heard, because I watched YouTube videos. I didn't read much, I watched the YouTube videos.
Yeah, I took the reading upon
Yeah.
me, and you took the watching upon you.
Indeed. So I read a few other theories. One of them is that shadow people,
Shadow persons. We'll use it interchangeable.
are interdimensional beings. So beings from another dimension that can travel to ours to either study us or another purpose that we just don't know about, which I think is absolutely creepy.
I found,
Ew. I don't want to be watched.
even as you say, there could be interdimensional beings. I've also found a whole lot of more
Yeah.
theories. I heard that they could be extraterrestrial beings.
What?
Extraterrestrial beings.
What is it?
Aliens.
Oh, that was.
I just wanted to be fancy. and-
Okay.
And say the word 2 times incorrectly and then once correctly. So aliens,
Yes.
but also reptilian.
Oh no,
beings
reptilians. Oh no,
and-
I saw a video about that. No.
Demonic entities. I've also read that they could be guardian angels.
Yeah.
So anything paranormal, it could be that.
So my next theory that I read about
Yeah.
is that they are not ghosts. Definitely not ghosts.
Yeah.
Because apparently a ghost is our spirits are supposed to be white and light and bright, because I mean that's what we like to think about when we move on. It's like a white light that goes in whatever you believe in, I guess. So it's not supposed to be a dark shadow. So this is a thing around the community, that shadow people are most definitely not ghosts. They are not like your loved ones looking out for you.
Which community are you talking about?
The paranormal community.
Just the paranormal
Yeah,
community.
yeah, indeed. You thought of which community?
Yeah, I didn't. Just said the community.
The community. The
I didn't have
paranormal
any context.
Well, we are part of the paranormal community now, so.
Apparently.
Other theories are that shadow people are time travelers, so people from the future who have advanced technology to mask their faces, so we wouldn't recognize them.
That's such a weird thing. That's so weird.
You read that as well, or are you just like...
I read it as well, but I thought it was so absurd that it even crossed my mind to just say it.
Oh
No.
yeah, I actually think...
Time travelers.
Just imagine it be true. People from the year 4000. So just imagine that, you know, humankind, like, I don't believe that, but just imagine that we do survive until the year 3 or 4,000.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a lot of years away.
Yeah.
Our technology by then, if we survive, would be like something we cannot even
Mind-boggling.
imagine
No, it's
right now.
mind-boggling. Yeah.
So why not? It's something
Yeah,
that has
okay.
always crossed our minds, time
Okay.
travel. I believe that one day we
So
will be able to do it.
so
if we survive.
let me counter this.
Yes, do that.
You exist in the year 4000. You?
Not me.
No, I'm just
Okay.
using you as an example.
Okay.
So you, Ray,
Yes.
you live in the year 4000.
Yes.
And you have the technology to, as you say, mask yourself and also to return back in time.
Mhm.
And you do that. You do return back into time.
Yes.
Why?
For example, to learn about your family tree. And just imagine it. By then, it's not a science thing. It's not something like, you know, NASA and only a few people can go to the moon. But it's like a thing.
Yeah. So I just don't really.
I don't know.
I mean, why would you? I know my family tree because it's written down, and I know quite a bit of my family's history.
I don't know my
Because
family
it's
tree.
yeah.
I only hope that what I read online is true, and if so, that means that I am the great grandchild, maybe not grandchild, but I descend. It may be that I descend from a pirate.
Wait,
Yeah,
what did you say? You're a descendant of a pirate?
maybe.
Well-
I didn't check it, but it could be. He had the same last name, and he lived close to where we're from. So
Huh.
yeah.
Okay, that's
So
quite
I might
interesting.
be a
Yeah. So
pirate.
so if you would have the technology at this moment, you would return back into time to see if that pirate descendant of yours,
Maybe, yeah.
whatever he did.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I could go to the archives, but let's say it's the year 4000, apocalypse happened, everything is destroyed, like, we don't know. I don't know, maybe.
I don't really see it.
No! Oh my god, I do.
It's so, as we have a few experiences that we'll talk about and a few stories, not only from Western culture but different cultures. One of the things that I have seen, I don't know if you've seen it as well, but I have seen is that most of these encounters happen in the bedroom.
Yes.
It happens at night, happens in certain conditions. Why would a time traveler travel not only back into time, but appear in a bedroom?
Well, okay, the bedroom thing is maybe a little weird, but at night is kind of logical. Because they know that when they travel back in time, they appear as a shadow. So you wouldn't... Like, imagine standing in the middle of Times Square, New York,
Yeah?
at broad daylight,
Yeah?
and a shadow appears in the middle of the...
Yeah, but these shadow
Like-
entities and shadow beings that we're talking about haven't been seen in bright lit
No,
areas as
exactly.
like men.
Because time travelers are smart.
Okay. Okay, sure.
There are rules, you know. There are! You can't change the past, so they need to stay hidden.
But
And then just sometimes...
this is a paradox. You can change the past, but by going back to the past, you're changing it. But because you're changing it, something hasn't been changed. Do you understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
You're creating...
It's a paradox.
You're creating multiple...
Yeah.
It's like a multiverse.
It's like a multiverse.
But I already believe in that kind of stuff.
You do believe in that
Yes.
stuff? Okay.
Because when you make a decision, I believe that in another universe, I made a different decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or for example, I made a decision that is not like not fate or whatever, you know. And so I create with my decision that was not, you know,
It's just-
meant to be. create a new universe, for example.
Yeah, and that's whatever you're talking about at this moment. It has a very specific name, and it is something. If you think about it, makes a lot of sense, but it's just a weird thing. It's really weird, right?
So you believe in interdimensional beings and aliens and
No,
reptilians?
I've never said that I believe any of
Okay,
that.
but you didn't read about those things?
Yeah, I read about
because
those
you were
things.
like, oh yeah, that could be.
Well,
time travel.
I never said that could be. I think that
Okay.
anytime someone says, "Oh, it's the reptilians that are doing this," I don't know.
Okay.
I've worked with quite a bit of reptiles, and whatever they say about reptilian brains, and reptiles are smart. They're not
That's
world-conquering Illuminati level smart.
You don't know that. I'm just kidding.
Oh no,
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't. Maybe they are, and
Oh,
they're
God.
fooling us.
That turtle you saved?
I said, no, not my dear turtle sushi.
He's an FBI agent.
That's why he wants to escape his aquarium.
Oh no. Okay, but you know,
it's really fun to talk about these things as a hypothetical.
yeah, indeed. Like, could it be?
Could it be?
I think that I love to do that. So yeah, okay. And then another super interesting theory that I read is that shadow people are astral projections.
Yeah.
So astral projections, for those who don't know, is also known as a out-of-body experience, and it's where a person is able to free their soul from their body to travel on the astral plane.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into detail about it
No,
because
I'll talk about it in a bit more detail.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Some of the cultural
Oh.
things that I found really look into the
Very
astral
interesting.
projection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I was just gonna say, like, I'm not gonna go into much detail because most people probably know what it is, but if you don't, keep on listening and you will hear in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it is believed that our spirit would be a white light, but in this theory, it is said that because the person is still alive while doing astral projection, the soul is seen as a dark shadow, and the face isn't detailed because it's just the soul traveling while the body is still alive. Like, it made sense to me. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, does it? I don't know. but-
really, I sort of understand what you mean.
Yeah, so yeah, those are my theories, like my short versions of theories,
Yeah.
which some I think are believable, like time travel.
I travel.
And yeah,
Bizarre.
others I just really don't believe at all. I'm not sure about the aliens, for example.
Yeah, I don't.
I believe in aliens, as in I believe in there is more life out there than just us on
I
planet
think
Earth.
it's a given.
But I don't necessarily think that they are more advanced and able to travel to Earth. They could be in a completely different galaxy and not even able to meet us, like whatever.
You also you have to look at it as a bit of a scientific way of
Yeah,
seeing
of
it.
course, yeah.
Something that's alien doesn't really have to be a carbon copy of who we are.
No,
It doesn't
of
have to
course
be
not.
like the typical aliens as the little grey guys or the men in
And the
black.
green, yeah, and the green.
Yeah, the green alien type of
Insect
dudes.
types, yeah.
Those shouldn't always be our perception
course
of
not.
alien.
Because
Just
they're
a different,
yeah.
just a microbe or a virus or something that's so small but hasn't been made on Earth or wasn't created on Earth.
It's also alien.
It's also alien.
Indeed.
So if we
But-
would go to Mars, for instance,
Yeah. Well,
and they look into the soil,
didn't they already find life on Mars?
they found water on Mars. I don't really think they found
Oh.
life yet.
Yeah, could be.
But we've also not been physically there. Could possible that they scoop up a bit of Earth and look into it on a microscope and find
Yeah.
teeny tiny little amoebos.
I mean,
Those are aliens.
yeah, that is. But even if there was something out there that is close to us, like it's not like it doesn't have to look human-like, because a different planet with different temperatures and stuff will probably make a different type of creature. Like, why would it also stand on two legs and have two arms?
Yeah,
For
that's
all-
just
for-
evolution.
For all we know, on that planet they need 6 arms or wings Who knows? Who knows?
In Ray, we have so many different animals, so many different
Indeed.
type of creatures
So it could be
walking and
anything.
crawling and flying around. It's
But
the same thought process.
what I was gonna get to is that these quote-unquote aliens, we call them aliens, but for all we know, they are just speculating just as much as we do about aliens out there, and we are aliens for them. Do you know what I'm...
I see your logic.
I believe in something like that. I don't think aliens have traveled to us yet, but I think something is out there in another galaxy, not like on Mars or Jupiter or
They
whatever.
could just be on the same level as us. They could also just be looking and haven't found anything yet.
Yeah, I mean we're just not able to travel that far yet. There's so
they
much
could
more.
also just not be able to travel that far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So, shadow people, right?
Yeah, right. We're going off
We've
topic
been
again.
talking about time travel, we've been talking about aliens.
Oh my god.
Good thing that we didn't really specifically talk about reptilians, because
That's a whole other story.
alright, we are all over the place,
Yes.
but let's see. Could just be very interesting. People might just like it. Okay.
So, Lawrence, you did some more in-depth research about different type of shadow peoples in different cultures, stories.
Yeah.
So I'm super curious about that.
I did find I've mostly looked into different cultures, because the shadow people that we know mostly are the type that you wake up in the middle of the night, something is standing at the foot of your bed, or you look outside for a second and you see something move in the dark and was like a shadow of a man or something. That's really what we see as shadow people. Also found different cultures that do not see it that way. Not exactly that way. So I have a couple of examples. So like, these are, of course, I've seen these in the book that I said, but they're still very interesting. So like, one of them was a phenomenon called the mud people. So not shadow people, but mud people.
Mud people.
Mud, as in, mud.
Ew.
It talks about a man called Carlos Castanedas. He is a biologist and a writer as well, I believe. He was a biologist, or was he? It doesn't really matter. He's a smart man. In one of his books called The Active Side of Infinity, so Carlos Castanedas talks about an experience he and his teacher Don Juan have with beings called the Mud People. Castanedas was training in shamanism under a Yaqui sorcerer, Yaqui, Y-A-Q-U-I. Yaqui? I really don't know. It's indigenous people of the Rio Yaqui Valley in the Mexican state of Sonora. In his book, Castanedas describes him seeing shadows in the corner of his eyes, under tutelage of Don Juan. Well, Don Juan later says that ancient Mexican sorcerers were the first ones to see these shadow beings. They believed that these shadows were companions for life, so everyone had one of these. They were a predator of sorts. They fed on human energy and human existence. I quote, "There is an explanation, which is the simplest explanation in the world. They took over because we are food for them, and they squeeze us mercilessly because we are their sustenance." End quote. He then further describes these predators as a sort of gods. That's what I've read that part of his book. It really makes them sort of like deities. These mud people, they give us our systems of beliefs, our ideas of good and evil, our social mores. They set up our dreams, our expectations, our successes and our failures, or our dreams of them at least. It really got very philosophical and very difficult. I'm not that smart of a man to understand that. So the next part was kind of difficult to understand, but Castanedas says that these predators do all this by giving us their mind. And I think he means like sharing minds?
By giving us their mind.
Yeah.
So like
By giving us their mind, they give us these beliefs. I know.
so in like a telepathic way that
I don't know.
they I don't know, project their beliefs on us or something?
Yeah, I really didn't understand it because
I'm
he
not
really
sure.
didn't go into detail then as
I'm
well.
not sure why they would
It's
do
really vague. And he describes like the sustenance part. He describes it as like we would wear a coat or a blanket around us that was glowing white and glowing yellow energy.
Oh god.
It was so weird.
I feel
So-
so uncomfortable right now.
That yellow and that energy, that's the thing that these mud people eat or they gain their sustenance from. And as a child, that's really bright and it's full. The coat and the blanket is very full. But once they start feeding and once we get older, it's the amount of energy is so small that it just is barely visible and connects us to the floor. He says, I don't really know if what's exactly what he says, but I think he says the only thing of energy we have left is a sliver of energy that goes from the top of our toe to the bottom to the ground.
Oh,
So it's really like what is it, centimeter or two?
yeah.
It's very little energy left.
I mean, I kind of get it, to be honest. Like, it makes sense,
and I think-
guess.
He sort of, I think what he means by that, if they would eat all our energy, they would die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense as in, not that I necessarily believe this, but I mean, it's correct that as a child, we are more open to paranormal stuff. Like, that's what...
Yeah, that's always been the consensus.
Yeah, indeed. And the older we get, the more we... Like, yeah, well, we grow up, and how older we get, like, we literally get old, our energy is literally drained. I mean, of course, it's all biology,
Yeah.
but is it literally
I
all
really
biology?
don't know.
Like,
It really talks a bit about astral stuff as well. They are in a trance-like state while they see these beings and know of these energies. He also says that there are two types of mud people: inorganic entities, who are shapes that can be good or bad. The good ones may barter for your energy. The bad ones just steal it.
oh. Okay.
It's really weird. Then there is also organic or benevolent entities. They do not feed on humans, but they also don't stop the inorganic ones.
Yeah, okay.
So they are neutral, more like. I should also say that there really are doubts about the veracity of Castaneda's work. It is thought that Don Juan is imaginary, that Don Juan doesn't exist. A number of arguments include that Castaneda didn't report on the Yaqui names of a single plant that he came across. So he describes plants, but he doesn't describe them in their name. So it's like we would call, if you would say that you're on a journey and you describe trees, but you don't call them by their names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
okay.
along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
Also, he and Don Juan go unmolested by pests that normally torment desert hikers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the book Castaneda's Journey by Richard DeMille, he includes 47 pages of quotes that Castaneda attributes to Don Juan, which were actually from a variety of other sources. 47 pages.
47 pages, of course. That's...
Those are some other things, so
Yeah.
the consensus about whatever the mud people are and whatever Castanada's story is about them is that it's probably fiction.
I mean, probably. I mean, I also really hope that it's fiction, because I do not want my personal shadow person to feed off my energy.
Yeah.
I mean, the thought that there is on an astral plane someone attached to me, like feeding off my energy right now, I'm like, just shoot, get out.
It's really weird. Then we have the Jinn. The Jinn, that's probably a name that you have heard before.
Of course, yes.
So it's where we get the GE.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Jinn is a paranormal entity from Islam.
Mm-hmm.
The Jinn is a being that's capable of become invisible. He can shapeshift, teleport, and possess humans. Allah created the Jinn from the smokeless flame of fire. A non-Muslim Jinn is considered dangerous and wicked. So there are two different types of Jinn.
Oh, so
there's a
Allah
Muslim.
created him, or him, like the Jinn himself.
Yeah, Allah did that.
Okay, and if there are other jinns that are not created by Allah?
I think Allah created all jinns.
Oh, but those who are not...
I think there's a Muslim jinn and there's a non-Muslim kind of jinn. So the Muslim jinns are always kind, good-hearted, always ready to help, and they're seen as good beings. And then you have the non-Muslim jinn. Those are always seen as dangerous, wicked. They appear as dark figures and prey upon unsuspecting human souls. Jinns are great deceivers and may present themselves as the ghost of a loved one, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
So, like a mud people, it's also believed that every person has a jinn attached to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the thing I read about jinns attacking and entering a human body actually closely resembles an exorcism.
Yeah.
Like being possessed by demons.
Yeah, okay.
That's so the jinn, you can look at it as a sort of demon, and like a cross between a demon and a shadow entity.
I think I get it. Like, it's probably not similar to... Yeah, maybe it is. Like, what's similar of Christianity. For example, jinns that are Muslim, like, you know, the ones created from Allah that stay Muslim, are what Christians would consider as angels, probably. Like everyone has them, so everyone has like a guardian angel.
Yeah, that could be a good way of thinking about
it.
The
jinns that are not Muslim are indeed demons, and they can possess you and need to be exorcised, for example.
Also, a jinn was just able to live as a human. They ate, they talked, they slept, they had intercourse. So.
And how did we come up with? You need to rub a lamp and get 3 wishes.
I have no idea. I have no idea, because the concept of rubbing a lamp and getting wishes, that's what we get from this tale of Aladdin.
Yeah.
But the tale of Aladdin isn't an African. I mean, Aladdin lives in.
It's Arabic.
Arabic country.
Arabic
That's not what the story goes. The story of Aladdin is a Chinese myth.
Wait, what?
And he doesn't rub a lamp, he rubs a ring.
The original
story about Aladdin and the genie that we know doesn't have anything to do with Arabian folklore or Arabian myth. It's nothing with a lamp. There's a ring that's been rubbed, not a lamp. There's nothing about wishes.
Where does the lamp thing come from?
I have no idea. I just think that's a thing that Disney has changed. In Hinduism, there is something called the Wandering Souls.
Ooh, that rings a bell, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Like vaguely.
Well, it
just
has.
The name
it has to do
Souls.
with astral projection.
Oh.
So it could be that. In Hinduism, there is a concept called Antarloka. Antarloka. It's the dimension between worlds where souls wander between incarnations. So when a person dies, their soul goes to Antarloka.
Yeah.
And stays there until it's ready for the next incarnation.
Isn't that similar to limbo?
Sorta. Yeah.
Okay.
You could
Or,
look at it as limbo, I think.
Or like purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Or is that more hellish?
Purgatory is really the place between hell and heaven. And I think
okay.
a soul goes to heaven or hell, but first it goes through purgatory.
Okay, and this
It's
like
really about reincarnation.
reincarnation. Okay, yes.
It's like a waiting room at a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just you wait there until it's your turn to be reincarnated.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible for some of these souls to appear in our world. In Hindu thinking, shadow people are more likely to be a wandering soul of a person who died like an untimely death or something, and is still earthbound for a period of time. These are just lost souls, and it can only be seen by people who are really in tune into their presence, who are more sensitive to their presence.
Mm-hmm.
There's also they are also described as wandering souls, dark and shadows, amongst those. So it's
For me, this is the most believable one so far.
Yeah.
Even though, like I said in one of the theories, our souls are supposed to be like white and light and everything, like that doesn't mean that's true. It's just a theory I read, so it could be souls waiting.
I don't know what's after that, so
I hope reincarnation.
it's a free for all for me.
I 100% believe in reincarnation. So this one.
You said it in episode 0 as well.
I think so. Yeah.
So in Hinduism there are wandering souls. Buddhism also has a sort of shadow people type of entity.
Mm-hmm.
So Buddhism focuses more on peace and tranquility. So they do not really like to probe or really talk about dark shadows. They exist beyond our periphery. They are not within reach, and we shouldn't be able to touch them, and we shouldn't touch them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tibetan Buddhism has quite a few dark, threatening entities, and it's believed that they only affect us through the power of our true demons. So a lot of hatred, stupidity, pride, and envy causes these dark entities.
Okay.
To get rid of these entities, one should appeal to the Buddha. Everything goes through the Buddha, so we should appeal to the Buddha for compassion, fearlessness, and try to abandon these bad emotions.
I can agree and disagree.
So in Buddhism, it's more amalgamation of, is that correct? Amalgamation. I believe that it's like a stew pot, a collection. In Buddhism, it's more of a collection of dark emotions and dark thoughts that create these shadow beings.
Yeah, I can.
There's also you feel these dark emotions. I understand that if you believed it, that it could be just a manifestation of these emotions.
I can quite get into that, or like how do you say that? Like I can understand that.
Yeah.
However, I do want to say something about that, and that is that quote unquote bad emotions aren't always needed to be like abandoned. Like it's okay to be afraid, it's okay to be scared. These are all natural emotions, and even if you try to live a life of peace and compassion, being angry sometimes, or being afraid or sad is completely normal and completely okay, and it will not like affect your soul. It's only when it becomes too much, like you become too angry and you start hurting other people, for example, then it's a problem. Then you get darkness into your soul. I just wanted to like say that for anyone who's like, because I used to be like, oh no, I can't be angry or sad, like I need to be positive and all the time, blah blah, but that's not true. You need to find a good balance between the two to live a happy life.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being afraid, and there's nothing wrong with being scared or being
But sometimes
angry.
it's said like that, you know. You need to be positive all the time. I mean, you don't. You know, if you have a bad day, you have a bad day.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
I
think
needed to say that.
I also believe that a lot of good emotions could come out of bad emotions. I think.
Yeah, of course.
It's so stereotypical. It's a
and
fantasy trope, but I believe that one of the only ways to be brave is by being scared.
Of
And by
course.
handling your fear and by doing something with it that shows bravery.
Bad emotions can give you so much experience to conquer more difficult stuff later on in life. Like, if you've never been sad in your life and then suddenly something sad does happen, you have no clue how to deal with it, and you're gonna be a mess, and it's gonna be chaotic.
It's just the principle of yin and yang.
Mhm.
The bad comes with the good, but
Exactly.
the good also comes with the bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to like pop that in.
Nice way of saying it. This is something that you'll probably haven't heard of. And it's, again, quite difficult for me to say. It's called the Nalusa Falaya. Nalusa Falaya.
Nalusa Falaya.
Yeah. It's a
I
being
think
from
it's pronounced like that.
Choctaw mythology. Choctaw is a Native American. It's a Native American tribe.
Okay.
The Nalusa Falaya is also a shadow resembling a man. Shadow entity resembling a man. He has very small eyes, long pointed ears,
Oh, okay.
and it really likes to frighten hunters and feed off their fear.
Hunters that come in these tribes
I
area? or something?
think what they mean with hunters is because it's a Native American,
Mhm.
Native American Indian culture that they mean hunters as in the men who go hunting.
From their own tribe.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I don't think it's a protective being. I think it's a scary being.
As in like a guardian of the animals that
No,
doesn't...
I don't really think.
Oh.
I couldn't
it's
really find
specific
a
about-
lot of information about it. I think it's something that's not really spoken about that much.
I think it's interesting because it's the first time that we heard about long pointy ears.
Yeah, and
Like
small
it-
eyes.
And like eyes have been mentioned. But
Yeah,
like
the
small
color
eyes,
of them.
Yeah, but small eyes is very specific, and the long pointy
It
ears.
really puts it a bit of detail.
That's why I thought about like an animal protecting.
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah.
I have found a picture of
Yeah,
it.
we can put it on our Instagram. They come before dawn. Oh.
Maybe describe what you see.
It almost looks like a zombie wolf that stands on two legs. But I mean, it has the ears, it has the kind of the shape as well, except for it's standing on two legs, and it has a tail as well. So
Yeah, that's correct.
I think animal protector
I actually,
or not.
the vibe I get from it is more like a skinwalker, to be honest.
Oh.
A skinwalker, a shaman who turned evil, uses pelts of animals to change
Oh.
into different animals.
Like it used to be a human.
Used to be human.
Okay.
Cannibal.
Yeah.
Cannibalism is also mostly.
I mean, it could also be.
yeah.
But I mean,
I didn't really find that much info about it. Find a couple of pictures and a little description, but it's mostly said to be a shadowy entity.
yeah.
But we'll put the picture on our Instagram.
It's really creepy.
It's a very creepy thing.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I have two more. One is again Native American. It's
Okay.
from the Cherokee culture. Their shadow people are also more monstrous in appearance. They are humanoid shape, but are not proportional to normal humans.
Oh, okay.
So long arms, long legs,
Slender Man.
slender man type.
Oh.
Yeah, something
Oh
like
dear.
that. These beings are the product of medicine people gone evil.
Medicine people?
Medicine shaman, medicine men.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
They have been perverted by the use of their powers for their own greed.
Oh.
These people cease to be people and become something else. They cannot be considered human
Okay.
anymore.
It's
Sort of like a skinwalker, as I just
Yeah.
described. It's also the same line of thinking.
it's like what in witchcraft would be like dark magic. Like if you use magic for your own instead
Yeah.
of for others, you
Yeah.
turn you turn evil, quote unquote, as well.
Yeah, it's the same principle, but
Yeah.
in Cherokee there's also a being like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there is one that's a bit closer to home. It is actually a Belgian legend.
I know this one.
It's called Old Red Eyes, or we would call, or the Beast of Flanders.
Yeah.
We would call it O de Rode Ogen, but it's just a translation of Old Red Eyes.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a 7-foot tall, black-clothed man who changed into a large black dog with fiery red eyes.
How tall is 7 foot?
7 foot would be 2 meters plus, so 2.10 meters.
That's tall. That's tall.
That's tall. That's over. That's. I don't know anyone who's over 2 meters.
I do.
Okay, never mind. Never mind then. In recent times, he could change into a dark shadow with red eyes. In the late 17th century, children were reported missing and were believed to be the victims of a cannibalistic shapeshifter. Witnesses claimed to have seen a large naked black man running away after trying to steal a young girl from her bed.
So now it's a black man.
I think
And not a black clothed man.
what they mean with a black man is his skin color was
Yeah.
black.
Okay.
He was shot at and seen to be changed into a large black dog. Then, sadly, a homeless man was caught, lynched, and skinned, all without a trial.
Oh, they thought this homeless
Yeah.
man was
They saw a homeless man who probably vaguely resembled a 7-foot black man, and they
Okay.
said, "You're the Beast of Flanders." Took him. They
without a trial.
without a trial, lynched him and skinned him alive. From the early 18th century until present, a ghostly dark figure with fiery red eyes has been seen in Mechelen and its surrounding areas. It is said that he seeks his skin to become whole again, as the demonic figure he once was.
Okay.
Yeah. During the 20th century, the ghostly being was called the Knacker. As part of a story told to children who stayed up past midnight, they would be eaten alive if they didn't go to sleep. So he was used as a boogeyman.
Yeah. I think we can agree on what this probably was.
This probably
and it's very
resembles.
sad. But yeah, in that time, I mean, we're talking about slavery here.
Yeah, I think
I think so.
we
I mean,
can
I
see
think-
the racist connotations
Yeah.
about it. It probably was
Yeah,
just a black man who was used as a scapegoat.
yeah. And I mean, he probably was trying to escape
Yeah.
his horrible circumstances.
I think
and,
we'll
Yeah.
we'll have another episode where we talk about beasts in specific, and I think the Beast of Flanders will be talked about again in that
Yeah.
episode.
Mhm.
So he will probably come up in a future episode,
Mhm.
but I think it's already quite a sad tale.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's.
same. Because
This is the second Belgian legend we talked about, and we don't really have a good track record in Belgian legends.
No.
They're not really
no.
happy legends. Obviously the Bockenriders didn't end all that happily,
No.
and this one doesn't. Let's try maybe next week to put in a better Flemish or a better Belgian
If we can find one.
one. Yeah, if we can find one.
But yeah, I think the last one is definitely.
Yeah.
It's.
I don't really know what to say about it. It's such a dark thing.
It's a
And
very
it's-
sad past of
It's a
history
very
that definitely never should have happened.
it's so crazy to think that people who lived 200, 300 years ago
It's
could
not
do
even-
anything
yeah.
like this. But okay. Oh, it's just I don't really like it.
No.
Let's keep it at that.
Yeah, same.
You have a few personal experiences you want to talk about.
Yes, indeed. I did my research on more personal experiences, and I want to start with my own personal experience. So I've had a period in my life a few years ago where I constantly saw a shadow in the corner of my eyes. And like many other people, I think, I went to Google for help.
Yeah.
And okay, I did.
You
know,
put your symptoms
Yeah,
into Google and
And-
you have cancer.
and I have cancer like
Yeah.
everyone else. So I mean, let's face it, we're kind of all the old.
It's what Google says, and if Google says that you have cancer, you have
It's
cancer.
true. No, but seriously though. So obviously I came up with some paranormal stuff, but I actually came up with something else, and it was vitamin A deficiency.
Deficiency,
Yes. So apparently, when you lack vitamin A, you can see black spots or black figures, like not figures, but black something in the corner of your eyes. So I was like, oh, okay. What food contains vitamin A? Like, I didn't went to the doctor to get it checked because otherwise I was feeling fine. So I just ate some more foods that were rich in vitamin A, and it stopped.
What foods?
Apparently, fish.
Fish, you ate more fish.
Yeah, and some other things, but
Yeah,
I don't really
like probably
recall.
nuts or something.
I have no clue. Like, I don't recall. Like, I'm not an expert on
Yeah.
food.
But you just ate more
I'm
vitamin A richer food and it passed.
And it stopped. So I figured it's probably just that, and for a lot of people, this actually might be a very logical explanation.
Could be.
So
Could be.
now you know that. But of course, that's not where it ends. Like, this would be very boring if that is where it ends. So I tried to find some personal experiences of other people, and a lot of them were very alike, but yeah, here are some stories that I encountered while doing research. So the first one is a story by Haley Reese. So Haley Reese is a YouTuber whose channel is about all things paranormal. I have been following her for quite a few years. Like, I don't watch every video, but like some of them are.
You watch
are
a couple of
really nice.
videos
Yeah.
once in a while.
So she's a Christian woman who believes in the strength of light and love, which I have talked about
Yeah.
before. So that's like that
What?
comes
That's
from
where you
her.
get the light and love
Yeah,
thing?
that's indeed from her. And she claims to have experienced many paranormal, like, or had many paranormal encounters. So she has a whole video dedicated to shadow people, which is where I got my theories from.
But she didn't only have paranormal experiences with shadow people.
No, about all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
all
like,
kinds.
Yeah, but she.
But obviously you're gonna talk about her
the shadow
experience
people,
with
yeah.
shadow. Yeah.
It would be a very long episode if
Yeah,
I would include everything
yeah.
she experienced. So she says that when she was ill, she would wake up in the middle of the night and she would see a shadow figure on the side of her bed. She thought her eyes like weren't adjusting to the dark yet,
Yeah.
so she couldn't like really make out what it was. She just saw this like darker patch,
Yeah.
like a little darker than the
Yeah.
rest of her room.
Like the corner's a bit darker
Yeah.
than the rest.
So she said that this shadow person that was in her room would even walk across the room sometimes. So it happened multiple times. It
Yeah.
wasn't a one-time thing. And it would just walk around sometimes, and that's that. At other times, she would roll over in her bed, open her eyes for a brief moment, like waking up for like 2 seconds, and she would see a shadow person lying next to her in bed.
Lying next to her.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's something that I've not really
No,
found somewhere
me
else.
neither.
'Cause
So
in the book Darkness Walks, Jason Offit, he begins the book by saying, I don't really want this book to be a collection of different stories, and then the book becomes a collection of different
Oh.
stories. So there's a lot of stories I've read. I've not read someone experiencing shadow people lying next to them.
no, me neither. Like I didn't. Yeah.
Did she say if she felt weight on the bed? Like she saw the shadow
I don't
person
think-
lying
no.
next to them, or she felt?
No, she saw it.
Yeah.
She didn't mention feeling like
Yeah.
the mattress was like sinking a little bit. She says that she used to get rid of these shadows by quickly turning on the light, like which is, I think, an obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
But now if she sees one, she just goes back to sleep because she believes that most of of the times these things are harmless. So she's just like, okay, shadow person is over there. I'm just gonna go back to sleep.
I actually had a bit of a image in my mind when you said that. First she just put the light on.
Yeah.
Then I got the image. She doesn't do that anymore. Now she just pulls out a gun and starts blasting. I don't know why. It would be so funny if that would be the next step.
That would be very disturbing. Like imagine,
Blah 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 blah.
just imagine like
Just opening
walking
fire in the middle of the night.
oh my god, no, that would be yeah. If that was the case, I think she needs some help.
Yeah, I think you would be correct.
So no, she says that if you trust in faith and in the fate of light and love,
Yeah.
that evil beings won't be around you.
So it's really a faith-based
Exactly.
way of thinking.
Yeah. And she also believes that shadow people come from other dimensions.
Okay, so the dimensions are that.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
it is something that comes back
Yeah.
in almost every story.
Indeed. The next.
Yeah. You have been hyping this part up to me.
It's yeah, because it's a roller coaster.
It's a roller
Well,
coaster. I'm so excited.
I
have
hope I
no
can
idea what's
explain it
happening.
well, because obviously I'm not gonna I don't know the exact story about this girl, like every part of it, because it was a lot, but I just collected
Yeah.
the shadow
So to
part.
give our listeners a bit of insight in the way we do our research and the way we communicate with each other, we have a shared document that we use, and we put our research in that document. And once we finished our research, we just skim over each other's parts.
Yeah. But I told you not to read this part.
Yeah. So I'm so excited. This is my first time hearing
Yeah,
this.
because it sounds okay. No, I'm
Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
So the next experience that I found was actually on an episode of Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
So there's a clip on YouTube from an episode of Dr. Phil where a girl, also named Haley, not the same Haley,
Two Haleys.
claims that she sees shadow people and they call out her name sometimes. Like she's sitting there, like she seems kind of like not shy, but like kind of almost introvert. Like
Yeah.
she's very like timid. Is that the thing?
Timid, yeah.
Like she's like, oh, I don't want them around me anymore. I don't feel safe. I want them to go away. Dr. Phil asks her, like, have you tried medication? Like, yes, doctors have prescribed her medications. She says it doesn't work. She keeps seeing them, because at first I was like, okay, maybe it's something like schizophrenia.
Yeah, it's a
Like, it
mental
could be.
thing.
Like it exists, like it could be.
Good one.
But no medication at all working seems kind of weird to me. So I was like, is this actually something paranormal on Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of believed her almost. Like I was like, oh shit, like this
Okay.
girl's actually seeing shadow
Okay.
people.
I feel it coming.
Now I did some digging and I
feel it
found
coming.
more clips of this episode on Dr. Phil with
Yeah.
Haley, and even another episode.
Where
With this
she was
girl?
also featured?
Yeah, I think it is a different episode because she's wearing different clothing,
Yeah.
and it's like with her mom and sister. Apparently, she also claimed to be pregnant with Jesus,
Okay.
and she diagnosed herself with paranoid schizophrenia.
Oh. Okay.
Now, I'm not a doctor.
Yes, that's correct. You're not a doctor.
I am not. I know a little bit about different mental illnesses, but not enough to claim something myself here. I don't know, maybe she has paranoid schizophrenia, maybe she doesn't. I wouldn't know. I'm not gonna judge about that. I do believe, however, that she definitely does have a mental illness and she needs to be treated for it, because when you see other clips of her, she is very convinced that she's pregnant while she clearly is not.
Yeah, so she's clearly not in the right
She
mind.
also, like, I don't know the history, like, between her mom. I can see her mom and sister having like arguing really heavily with her, and
Yeah.
suddenly she's really not that timid and shy anymore, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, this is like a whole different person.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought it was a different girl,
Yeah.
and then I watched more clips and I was like, this is actually the same girl, huh? And I was like, what? I was so confused. These two, like not two, but these all different type of clips, it's like
Yeah.
it's a completely different girl. So yeah, the shadow people are probably,
It could not be the truth. that
it's
she
not
said.
the truth.
But
But the thing is,
I have to be honest. Dr. Phil isn't technically a doctor
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
He does have a PhD in clinical psychology, but he's not a licensed psychologist. So he can call himself a doctor because technically he's a doctor,
Yeah, okay.
but he can't prescribe any medicine or
Oh.
he can't prescribe any treatment.
Okay.
So every time in the episodes he tells them, well, we're gonna, like the ranch, he talks about the ranch, he sends children and problem people, he sends them to the ranch.
Okay.
A doctor wouldn't do that.
Probably not.
It's a sort of a rehab center,
Oh, okay.
but it's not a licensed rehab center, and there's a lot of shady stuff happening there
really?
as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
oops.
you know the girl, she got really famous on the Catch Me Outside girl.
Catch me outside.
She's a rapper as well, Bad Baby, I think. No, you don't.
I
Right.
don't know.
Okay, so she got really famous because she had a really bad attitude, and she wanted to fight her mom on the show and stuff like that.
Oh.
So Dr. Phil prescribed her to go to the ranch. She has come out with her experiences on the ranch, and it was really borderline. I think you could call it borderline abusive.
Oh.
And
But is her...
Dr. Phil has nothing to do with that. He just sends people there and that's it.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't go there. He doesn't interact with anyone there.
Mhm. But is her story reliable?
I mean, there have been other people
have been
coming
more, okay.
out with similar stories.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's. I think it's kind of obvious that the show Dr. Phil
It's
itself,
reality
it's
TV.
yeah, it's about drama.
It's a
more
reality
drama.
TV. The
But-
girl probably came to the show for some help and they amped her up. Said, yeah, you could have some problem, but why not say that you're pregnant with Jesus?
Yeah.
They
But well,
There's
I
a
think
lot of fabricated.
I think that's the first thing why she came on the show. To be honest, I think
What do you
yeah,
mean?
because well, I looked her up on her Instagram,
Yeah?
and there were actually photos of her with a belly,
Yeah?
like, but she's not pregnant, but she
Oh.
has a belly. So it's like there's
Was
a
it
name for
dated
it.
before the show or you didn't check
I
that?
think it was like around the show, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you have that. What is the name? Like you can have a lot of pregnancy symptoms without actually being pregnant. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of guess that if your belly starts swelling like that much.
But that's with dogs.
No, humans can have that as well.
Humans can have that as well.
Yes.
You sure about that?
I am 100% sure because
No.
she's not the first case I heard about that.
Oh, okay.
Just-
I didn't
it-
know that. I know
Yeah, yeah, of
it's,
course, yeah.
It happens with dogs.
And rabbits and other
And
kinds
rabbits
of
and animals,
of course.
yeah. I
Yeah, but
didn't know it
humans
happens
can
with
have that as
humans.
well. And there are symptoms.
Yeah, but it's a mental disease.
Yeah, I mean, it could be also be an not a mental disease, but like really your body. Like, and of course, if you take an echo and it's clear that you're not pregnant and you believe it, like then there's something wrong with your body,
Mm.
and it's not a mental
Yeah.
illness, but it can be a mental illness.
But
as well.
we're
In
not.
this case, it is.
But still, we're not doctors.
Yeah, no,
No, we're not
absolutely
doctors.
not. But I think I'm kind
Yeah.
of right.
You're probably right somewhere.
So, like I said, I didn't get to watch the whole episode. I just watched some clips, and it definitely seemed like she believed what she was saying, even if they were obvious lies. So I didn't find any recent updates on her. I went to her Instagram to check, but the latest picture dated from 2018, I think. So I can only say that I hope she's doing better now.
Yeah, and that she got the help that she obviously needed.
Yeah. So the next one is about Corey Shear. And Corey Shear, I'm a little fan
It's
of
really
him.
close to your heart. I
Is one of
heard
my
that name a couple of
favorite
times.
YouTubers. Yeah, he's so funny. And so he's part. So he has his own YouTube channel, but he's also part of one of my favorite channels called TFIL, which is now being transferred to the channel named Overnight. So TFIL won't upload paranormal content anymore, but other content. And they moved their paranormal content to a new channel called Overnight. So this channel explores haunted places to collect evidence from the paranormal, and what I like about them is that they are very realistic and down to earth, but also open-minded. So Alton Cassidy is the one that kind of leads the whole channel. And it's really about finding evidence and not as much about getting views.
Yeah.
Like it's easily said that they don't fake it, it's all real. But from these guys, I follow a lot of paranormal YouTubers, and these are the only ones that I 100% believe. They collect such good evidence, and they even upload videos where they don't collect any evidence at all, just like to show like sometimes it's just nothing, sometimes it's not haunted, or we don't get anything, and that's what makes it so believable, and that's why I like them so much. But of course, right now it's about one of their team members, which is Corey Shear, who has also done a lot of paranormal investigation in the past with Sam and Colby. Do you know Sam and Colby?
I have no idea who those
YouTubers
people
Sam
are.
and Colby, they're very funny. So they have done some paranormal research together as well.
What's Sam and Colby?
Sam and Colby
They're
are
just
Sam and Colby.
known as Sam
Yeah,
and
they're
Colby. Okay.
two. Like now they're in their 20s, but they started off as teenagers on Vine, and they were very popular. So they moved to YouTube, and they made all kinds of videos. I think they're hilarious. Sometimes a little bit over the top and a little extra. Like I don't believe every paranormal thing they do, even though their videos are very entertaining.
It's more entertainment.
Yeah,
and
even
not-
though they made some scary things. Like some things I believe, but some things
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not too sure about that. Sorry if you're, they're not gonna listen to this, but sorry if you do. Anyway. But so Corey has done some investigations with them, and in one of their videos he tells his story with the Shadow Man. So when he was younger, Corey and his family played with the Ouija board, and a lot actually. And since then, Corey has been seeing a dark human-like figure with a top hat and a cane that he named the Shadow Man.
Yeah. It's a hat man.
Yeah.
That's the thing that... Oh, okay.
It's a hat man.
Yeah.
He claims he has seen this figure more than once, and he also wonders that if he has been haunted his whole life. Like if the haunting follows him.
Yeah, if it happened before the Ouija board.
Yeah, for example. But also like in their videos, it is clear that Corey attracts more paranormal things than the other members of the channel.
So you're saying if Corey's in the video, something might be more likely to happen.
And there are like they work together with mediums sometimes, and these mediums have confirmed that Corey is indeed like sensitive to the paranormal.
If you believe that.
Yeah, of course.
Tell the truth.
Well, some do, some don't, I guess. I don't know. There's this one that they've been working together with lately called Patty. I forgot her last name, and I really like her. Like Patty. Patty's cool. Patty's cool medium. Anyway, so now during one of Sam and Colby's videos, they were investigating the Langham Hotel in London, which is said to be the most haunted hotel in the UK, when Corey suddenly got a text from his little brother, who was back in the US, that he started seeing the Shadow Man around the house.
At that moment.
At that exact moment.
Okay.
So, of course, at that time, like Corey is freaking out, and I think this is one of the first times he talks about the Shadow Man in the videos.
Oh, there might have not been any mention of the Shadow Man before that.
There were, I think, a little mention, like a little bit
No
of mention,
explanation.
but yeah, not too. I'm not, I haven't been following them for like since the beginning, so
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
sure. But I've been following them for 2 or 3 years now, and I think that was definitely one of the first times.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the way Corey was looking. Like, he's either an extremely good actor or it's real.
Or it's genuine. Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, and they later also made an entire series about this.
About
The Shadow Man. About
okay.
Corey's Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting to watch. It actually is one of their most critiqued video. Is that a word?
Yeah,
Critique?
that's a word.
Well,
Critique.
critique. If
But is
it wasn't,
critique
it's now
good or bad?
bad.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't
Why?
really remember why.
Ah.
Because I thought it was actually a very good video, but apparently a lot of viewers were, I don't know, disappointed. I think because it was more genuine than the other videos,
Okay.
and the viewers maybe wanted more drama, or not drama, but more spooky. Like, I don't. I thought it was a really good video.
Were they just sitting around and talking?
They actually went back to, where is he from?
Just for his hometown.
Florida or something? Is he from
Florida. That's
Texas?
just a state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, all 50 states of America.
Florida, Texas, or
So yeah, he went back to his hometown, like visited his family, visited the house, and at that moment they were at the house, something paranormal actually happened. Well, was it paranormal? It could have been electrical issues, but it was a really big coincidence. And yeah, I think it was a really good and genuine video. And yeah,
Okay.
the problem isn't gone though. Like, he's still haunted.
And they
but-
still make videos.
They still, like, he doesn't make videos with Sam and Colby much anymore because they are on a different path right now. Like, they're more...
They stepped away from the paranormal
Sam and Colby are
stuff.
now doing more their bucket list kind of thing. It's like
Yeah.
called 25 by 25 or something, and they just want to do 25 things before they die. Very cool. But Corey is now more with Elton from the Overnight channel doing paranormal things over there.
No, it's really your thing.
It is. I'm really into this. I mean, it kind of helps. They're all pretty good looking, so. I mean, and I'm sorry, Corey's just really cute. And everyone who watches his videos is like, he's cute. He's just.
Okay, so you're not looking for paranormal, you're just looking at cute guys. I get it. So, on to the next...
No, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done, you're not done.
No, okay, wait, actually kind of, yeah, no, I am done with this part. So these were some personal experiences, from YouTubers and someone on Dr. Phil.
Oh.
But I found many more personal experiences, especially on Reddit.
Yeah.
Some more believable than others, in my opinion. But there was one other type of experience shared by many, many other people. People who see the Shadow Man or Shadow People while they're lying in bed, which
Yeah.
we've already talked about. They're awake, but they're unable to move. And they're experiencing sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Which is a very terrifying, but very real condition.
It is so fucking terrifying.
I can only imagine.
Unbelievable.
Never
I've never experienced
No,
it.
no, me neither. And I hope, I pray to whatever is out there that I
Yeah.
will never experience that. So I'm sorry if you do. I'm so sorry if you do.
We're here for you. We want to listen to you.
Yeah.
Talk to us. It's not much we can do, but we're here for you.
But like, from what I've read, it apparently isn't always terrifying. Like, the moment you know what it is,
Yeah, that's
then
that's the
you can
moment.
like kind of relate. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it's just this happening. Just stay calm. of course, it's really creepy if you see hallucinations and stuff, but the moment you know what you're going through, I guess it's less terrifying.
You wake up and you can't move.
Well, it's actually kind of a normal thing that when you dream, apparently you're always paralyzed.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that.
correct. Yeah.
But apparently that is
Well,
because otherwise you would
yeah.
do your movements that you're doing in your dream, you would also do them in real life, which has happened to me before, but it was very funny.
Not related.
Story for a different time.
Not related.
So with sleep paralysis, you are awake as in you can open your eyes and you can breathe, but your body is still quote unquote dreaming, so you're not able to move or speak at all. So yeah, this sounds scary as fuck, but like I said,
It's just the transition between
waking up and
dream
sleeping
and
yeah.
wakefulness is sort of blurred.
Yeah, it's it's kind of,
And the transition isn't really going that good. And that's why you wake up, but you're still asleep.
yeah, something like that, indeed. So like we said, some people experience hallucinations during these episodes. Like your dreams mingle with reality. And some people have experienced sighting of monsters, ghosts, or shadow people. While being in a state of sleep paralysis. So I can understand why people would think it's a paranormal phenomenon, especially when you've experienced it for the first time and you don't know what sleep paralysis is. Then, yeah, obviously first thing that would come to mind is probably something paranormal. I think it's safe to say that it's not.
No, there's a scientific reason for it.
Exactly. It's a very real condition.
Looked at and
exactly.
discovered.
So in these cases, I do not believe that we're dealing with a shadow man or shadow people. So now we actually have someone who experienced sleep paralysis and had like a very scary experience with it.
And he's a friend of the show.
Yes, exactly. So we were allowed to share his story. And we are talking about Jens from Grafspraak. So Grafspraak is a very amazing Belgian paranormal comedy podcast. An absolute must-hear for all our Dutch-speaking listeners.
Yeah.
It's also the podcast that got me into podcasts,
Yeah,
basically.
that's correct.
It is hosted by Jens and Nikki. And yeah, this is a little shout out and a big thank you to Jens for sharing his
You
story.
can always find them at Grafspraak on Instagram, on Facebook, and also
on their website.
on their website,
They have a
grafspraak.be.
Grafspraak. Which is a very hard to pronounce if you've been speaking English the whole time.
Yeah, that's correct.
Grafspraak.
They have, I think, 40 episodes
Yes,
till this point, so they have quite a bit of a backlog at this moment.
They have 40 episodes now, and now they're doing a little break before returning.
But
after summer.
it's a really a must listen to.
Definitely, it's like creepy, but it's definitely really funny as well.
Yeah, it's I like it because it's they're couple.
Yeah.
So it's boyfriend and girlfriend, and you really feel that their energies are a bit different than regular podcast hosts.
Yeah, indeed. And I told them this, but I always listen to their podcast when I'm like cycling.
Yeah, if you go to your job.
To work or back home.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just laughing. Like I need to hide my mouth with my scarf or anything because otherwise it would look so stupid.
I listen to their podcast when it's still dark.
Oh, that's
in the morning at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say Jens's experience.
Yes.
So if you listen to the podcast, you wouldn't think this, but Jens used to be quite a shy kid. He was bullied by a guy who was in the same class as him. That guy's mom was actually a teacher at the school that he went to. When Jens got to the 4th year of middle school, the teacher he got was his bully's mother.
That sucks.
So in Belgium, in middle school, you have one teacher for a whole year. So there's 6 years of middle school, and you have 6 different teachers.
Yeah, it's middle school is completely different than in the US.
High school and
it's completely different.
It's any US listener, any UK listeners as well.
Yeah.
it's a completely different grading system in Belgium. Just know, Jens had one teacher for a whole year, and that was his bully's mom. On his first day, the first thing his teacher told him was, "I have heard of you. You bully my son." So his bully told his mom that Jens bullies him, but it's actually the other way around.
Yeah, I've had a similar situation
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
And Jens
Very
being...
frustrating.
Yeah, I can believe that's very frustrating. But Jens being a shy kid, he didn't really want to correct the record. He was afraid to. So that school year, at one point, the class had a math assignment, and they got a textbook full of math exercises. You know it. We all had these textbooks.
Yeah.
So it's a textbook with a couple of pages full of math exercises, and he had to do some exercises as an assignment. Jens didn't hear what specific exercises he had to do, and he was too shy to ask what the exercises were.
That's very relatable as well.
It's very relatable. I have done this myself.
Yes, me too.
So he went home, he did a couple of exercises.
Ah, yes.
He didn't know what, he did a lot of exercises. Next day he went to school, and of course he didn't make the exercise that he needed to do.
Yeah. Of course, like...
Yeah, of course, obviously. That's very stressful, and he didn't ask what the exercises were.
The next day.
So that same evening he made more exercises. Still the wrong exercises. So the teacher the next day reprimanded him again, said you didn't do the right exercises. You should do your exercises.
Instead of telling him.
No, but she probably just didn't notice that. She probably looked at his exercise, saw they weren't filled, then decided you're not doing your exercises, not seeing that he did other exercises. This went on for 2 weeks. So you cannot believe how stressful this is. He describes this
Poor kid.
situation in his own podcast. It's so... I feel stressed for him at that moment. So it was so stressful that he counted down the seconds and the minutes at night till he had to go back to school the next day.
Man.
Eventually, the teacher caught up and asked him if he knew what exercises he had to do, and he confessed that he didn't know.
And the teacher only asked like after 2 weeks? Like, damn, come on.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
So obviously, in those 2 stressful weeks, he had a night where he woke up and he couldn't move a single muscle. So he was laying on his side, he couldn't move a single muscle.
I was a kid.
Eventually, he sort of opened his eye, he could open one eye, and when he looked around with his one eye, he saw a single black figure the size of a child standing next to him.
Oh, actually... Oh, I mean, I obviously heard their episode about sleep paralysis, but I didn't remember it was a child.
Yeah.
That's also actually a first, right?
I have...
Or not?
I don't really know if... I think it happens more often, but
Oh.
it's mostly a man.
Yeah.
But Jens saw a child.
That's really creepy. But, I mean, it's obvious that this sleep paralysis, most of the time, these things come from stress. It's just so sad that a kid is going through so much stress and eventually experiences something like that. Something so terrifying. Like what? So 4th year of middle school is like 10 years?
Yeah, I think
Around the
10,
age of-
11 years is probably...
Depends on when you're born.
Yeah, depends on when you're born.
Like, so, no, if I would have experienced something like that at 10 years old, like, what the hell?
It's good. He still has these episodes, these sleep paralysis episodes.
But it has been a while.
I don't know.
In their
I don't know personal.
No, in their episode they said that Nikki hasn't experienced it with Jens.
No.
So...
No, Ray.
It-
No.
Hmm?
Nikki says that she has had been there, that she has experienced these episodes with him.
Nikki, I forgot. No, I really don't. Oh shit.
Yeah, I've listened to it today.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
No, I listened to it when it came out, which was like months
Yeah,
ago.
I've
So.
re-listened to the episode
You're
a couple
correct.
of times.
Fine.
And she says that but these episodes, they say that not only does he see the child, but he also wakes up with sort of screaming, like, "Oh no, get them off me," talking about spiders and stuff like that.
Ew.
Something like that. And
Spiders.
that is actually something that my brother-in-law has. So my brother-in-law, I have never experienced it, but when my sister-in-law and her boyfriend at that time, now her husband, or my brother-in-law, when they still lived at home, sometimes he would wake up in the middle of the night screaming. Awake the whole house.
Oh shit, okay.
Because he was screaming. "Get them off me! Get these spiders off me!"
Oh no, also
Sometimes,
spiders.
other times he would scream because, he screamed because the walls fell down.
Mm-hmm.
He screamed. It was just, it is sort of like sleep paralysis. It's on the same line. It's
Or a night
vivid
terror.
nightmares, vivid night terrors,
Yeah.
which go over into wakefulness.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I sadly haven't had the opportunity to experience
You're sad
one of
about that?
his. I really wanted to
Oh god.
experience that because it's
don't.
so weird, it's so bizarre.
I personally always have extremely vivid dreams or nightmares. Like sometimes I wouldn't call them a nightmare, but they're also not like a pleasant dream. And they're very vivid, as in I wake up more tired than when I went to sleep.
Oh yeah, so
I've also woken up crying. Yelling not so much, but speaking, like talking in my sleep and stuff. And okay, I think maybe I should kind of share, just because it's funny. You'll all laugh. It's funny. I'm gonna share it. So when I said that you're paralyzed when you're dreaming, I said that one time I apparently wasn't. So this was when I was still together with my ex-girlfriend, and we were lying together in bed, obviously.
okay.
And I just started working at my previous job, which was in a supermarket. I was dreaming that I was stocking the shelves, and I was specifically stocking the mayonnaise.
The mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. And for some reason in my dream, I had this jar of mayonnaise in my hand. I had to open it. Why would I be opening it? But I had to open it. So I was opening it. And suddenly I heard like a muffled sound. And it was my girlfriend's saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like half asleep still. So I woke up from this and I was like, huh? So what was I doing? With one hand with one hand I was holding her hand.
Her head?
Her head. And with the other I was making the movement to try and open the mayonnaise jar.
You were unscrewing her head?
Yes. I woke up to the side of myself doing that, like I saw my hands around her head, and I just laughed so hard. I could not stop laughing, and she was so mad because she was like still asleep and she just wanted to sleep, and she was like, "What are you doing? Like, leave me alone." Like I don't even know she was really awake. And I had to go out of bed. I had to leave the room to laugh downstairs because I was dead. I was dead. Like, it's the funniest sleeping experience I've ever experienced. I always share this with people, and it just stays.
I have never had that experience.
Yeah.
Nothing along those
Yeah.
lines.
That was probably the most vivid thing I've ever like had.
Well, thank you for sharing your Very interesting story.
So it was nothing paranormal, it was not creepy, but I just had to share it. Like, this is the perfect moment to share it.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah.
So, maybe to start ending the episode now.
Yeah, maybe.
What's your whole opinion after all the research, after all the whole episode? What do you think about shadow people?
Well, initially, I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
They're not real.
I also didn't want to believe in it because they sound creepy as fuck. Now I'm kind of like, I'm not 100% convinced, but I think there might be something.
The subject is very broad.
Yeah, it's very broad, and it's like some things are kind of logical. Like, I mean, time travelers, like, duh.
Get with the time travelers!
So no, but yeah, some things are like, huh, like it's not proven, like it's not a fact that is real, but I guess it could be. Like, who knows? Who am I to say it's not true? Like,
Yeah.
so, do I believe in it 100%? No.
Do you think they're real?
I think so many. Like, I don't see a reason not to think they're real, as in whatever you like. They could be ghosts.
Could be real.
They could be ghosts. So I believe in ghosts. So yes, then they would be real. If you were to say they're demonic entities, then I would say probably not. Like, I don't know. I can't really say a yes or a no in this.
It's paranormal.
It's, except if it's sleep paralysis, then no. Or like schizophrenia or mental illness. Obviously, mental illnesses are nothing paranormal. It's very real and sad, I guess. But I also believe in the paranormal, so I guess some encounters are real.
I believe that
paranormal?
every person that had these encounters and says they are real and they believe that they're real, that's correct.
Yeah.
If you say I believe in ghosts, then I believe you. I don't believe in ghosts, but I believe that you.
Yeah.
If you believe in ghosts, then okay, everyone, each to their own. Then ghosts are real.
Yeah, you're not gonna go in discussion with me about ghosts can be real because this and this and
no. If it's something that you believe, then okay, then they're real.
Yeah. Cool.
I started before we started the research and looking into the shadow people. I knew quite a bit about shadow people. I heard a bit of them and listened to some podcasts. Most of the podcasts always focus on the dark entities, the hat man, the sleep paralysis, and then how evil everything feels, how dark everything is. We more used a broader stroke. We didn't quite focus on the darkness of it.
Yeah.
But we more looked at different cultures and different theories and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, because in a lot of theories and experiences, people actually say that when they encounter one, they don't necessarily feel like it's a dark
exactly.
person. So
exactly, you're correct. Because we looked at it with a wider view, we found so much similarities between these cultures and so much things that are so similar, which does not make it real for me. But I don't really know how I could describe this, but I think that there is something there. I don't think it's a paranormal thing. I think it's more of a human thing. I think that it's in a time travelers. I think it's time travelers. I have to say it. No, I think more of when people are in high stress situations, they imagine, and I don't mean it in the bad way of saying this, they imagine these entities, and what's the thing that everyone sees? It's a thing that's been put out into the world that people see these shadow entities and these darkest things. We see it in all these different cultures. And in modern pop culture as well.
Modern
pop culture,
Actually, I forgot to mention that, but the Hat Man, or a shadow man with a hat is supposedly could have been not inspired, but like created from images of Freddy Krueger. That's what someone said.
Yeah,
because
but I think that
Freddy Krueger is not a shadow man, but he is a horror.
Yeah, but I think the
person with a
Hatman
hat.
actually predates.
Okay, the
creation.
Hatman is specifically, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, but I mean,
that's like what someone in a video said,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay.
I
like,
understand what you mean.
Was someone?
I just think that the whole thing of a dark human-like entity, something that goes into so much cultures, goes into so much human psyche, that I just think it's a manifestation of our human
that could
thinking.
be. That could be a very realistic.
I think
approach.
that's just
Yes.
a realistic way of
Yeah.
looking at it.
Although I still believe in astral projection. I mean, I do believe in it. I've never done it. I mean, I've tried it, but I haven't succeeded. Almost, but I did it. Time travelers.
Time travelers. Okay, let's just finish the episode by asking you, Ray, time travelers real or not?
Time travelers?
Time travelers real or not?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If we survive.
Thanks for listening, dear listeners. You can always find us at TheyComeBeforeDawn on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook.
But on Twitter, it's
Yeah, BFR, because the name's too long. You can always just send us an email at TheyComeBeforeDawnPod@gmail.com.
The name was too short.
The name was too short. And be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcast, Google Play.
Is that a...
No,
What?
it's Google Podcasts.
Is that a thing? Oh.
You leave reviews on there. Give us 5 stars. Give us a good rating. It helps us. Share it with your friends. Share it with people in the middle of the street just walking around. Hey, you there, strange man. How about a podcast you like? Just share it with anyone you like.
You never know.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great night.
Until the next one.
Next time on They Come Before Dawn.
Their skin is pale, their hands are cold. They only come out at night. People fear them, for it is said, they will drink your blood. Are they real demonic creatures, or is it a sad and tragic story? In the next episode, we are talking about vampires.